what did you think when the Undertaker and Paul Bearer tried to embalm Steve Austin? I mean, as a fan at the time, this is the era where I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. Like when he finally became the American Badass, I was all in. I thought it was overdue. I was ready for it. Certainly respect his in-ring work. His matches were always fun. Love his character work. Love that he's like the godfather of wrestling. But we're in, we're going to threaten and embalm a dude. I'm like, what am I watching? What do you think of that? Is that too far? I mean, the reason I bring this up is, and you've talked about this before, the rest of the country, like even Bruce would, he's a Houston guy. So he'd always talk about, oh, that's that Memphis stuff. That's that Memphis wrestling. We're embalming dudes in the New York territory. That's more Memphis than Memphis ever. I don't think there was ever an embalming angle. What do you think of that?
So, Conrad, right now in the current climate, I'll just say this diplomatically.
Oh,
yeah. You always get me on that.
By the way, folks, here's if you're ever talking to Jeff in real life, I'm fixing to give a tale because it just tickles me so much. If you've ever seen Talladega Nights with Ricky Bobby, one of the most iconic characters in the history of film, he goes to his team owner and he says, Mr. So-and-so, with all due respect, there's a comma, and everything that comes after the comma is just shitting on your head. In real life, if Jeff Jarrett ever says to you in conversation, well, Conrad, diplomatically, just get ready because he's got a shovel in his hand and it's coming in somebody's direction. So it just tickles me whenever Jeff says, well, Conrad, in today's climate, diplomatically, I'm like, here we go.
No, but what I was going to say is now I'm all for, look, because I have from creative rooms to characters and everything. I love entertainment, getting outside the box, stretching everyone's imagination, all in the name of entertainment. I get that. But let's just say last night, Conrad, the threads and the shreds and the perceptions and everything that went with it is all based on reality. Like, oh my God, I never thought I would ever. That's real. I mean, hey man, you can talk about this, this, and this, but that stuff, that's real, right, Conrad? So that's kind of out of the fence. Paul Bearer, in his former life, I love me and Moody. I always called him Percy Pringle. We got to know each other in Texas in 1988, 89 and stayed friends and buddies and used to laugh and cut up. And I would love to be in catering with him and all that kind of stuff. But in the Attitude Era, numbers speak for themselves. But when you get down to the level of embalming Stone Cold, it's just kind of stretching the limits and kind of I just think getting way out of bounds. And Conrad, you just kind of admitted, you're like, enough's enough. I mean, I think the magic of Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon were the whole world knew that Vince owned the WWF. He's welcome to WrestleMania starting in 83. And so here's the real boss, and he's a New Yorker, and I wouldn't say pompous and arrogant because he was playing the play-by-play character and everything. When he became the evil Mr. McMahon and he had the hardworking blue-collar beer drinking dude, Stone Cold, everybody could actually relate to that. I mean, it was so you could just live vicariously through both characters. When you get into the embalming, Undertaker and Stone Cold, you just kind of lost that sense of reality. If again, and who am I to throw shade on an angle that may or may not get out of bounds? But I think you are probably accurate, like a lot of folks, that it just carried it a little bit too far. Not saying it didn't do great numbers on pay-per-views or or ratings, but the embalming angle might have kind of pushed the envelope in the wrong way just a little bit too much.
Maybe just a little bit.